All right, so welcome back from the break. You're watching The Morning Rush here on Metro Television. I am Desmond Okrekoda, so of course you can call me Desi the Star Boy. And we've got a conversation coming up with, which I am really interested about, Boys for Change, right? And I'm intrigued that, for us, we are getting the platform for boys and men, yes. And it's usually about the other side, but today it's for boys and men. And joining us, we've got two guests who are joining us for this particular conversation. Conan Amel Gislade is bilingual project officer for Canadian Crossroads International, and also Stella Labi is the head of programs for DANK, and they are embarking on this amazing project, integrating football with the SDG goals and all of those things. So we'll get to understand all of that. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, for coming.
Good morning, Desmond.
Interesting thing is that she's Ugandan.
Yeah.
I like that. This is like an international conference. We have Ugandan and Ivorian join us here. But let's get on into this project. Boys for Change. How did this come about?
Yeah, Desmond, allow me introduce the organization I work for. I work for DANK Grassroots. DANK in full is developing unity and nurturing knowledge. DANK has found itself in a space where it's able to establish safe spaces for children to play, to come and play and receive an education. Okay. And we basically operate in the vulnerable communities in Accra. Okay. We are in Jamestown, Nima, and Agege. Okay. So the Boys for Change, it has been a long discussion, over 3 years discussion of having this project rolled out. So basically, the Boys for Change is a project that aims to bring together boys and young men to be agents of change in their communities. This is through preventing gender inequality, and then also advocating, challenging harmful gender roles in the communities. Okay. So these leaders will be selected, and they'll take the lead role in advocating for the prevention of gender-based violence in the communities that we are going to operate in. Okay. Yeah.
That's great to know. And Conan, what was the attraction point for your organization to be part of this amazing project?
Okay, thank you very much for having us on this platform. My name is Amel Conan. Bilingual officer with the Canadian Crossroads International. Okay. And the Canadian Crossroads International is a Canadian volunteer cooperation agency that works for a more equal world through the empowerment of women and girls. So to ensure that women and girls' rights are fulfilled. And over the years, we've had solid relationship and partnership with DANK because their programming aligns with our mandate. And we've been supporting DANK in terms of capacity strengthening and programming. So this project is an opportunity for Crossroads to support their programming in gender equality and the promotion of positive masculinity through effective engagement of boys as change actors, spearheading women and girls' rights issues. Okay. That is it, basically. And this falls in line with our mandate, therefore our support to DANK around this project. Great.
I like the fact that you talked about positive masculinity because a lot of times the focus is always on the negative and toxic, and all of that. So that brings to my question, what were some of the things that you found as you engaged with the boys that you decided to go for boys and young men so that you could imbibe in them this positive masculinity so that it starts with them from a very young age before they get up?
Yeah, this one, for years, we have always used the girls and women to send a message, about gender equality. And we sat down and said, okay, I think we need to change the stereotype. We need to bring in the men. We need to bring in the boys. because they are the troublemakers normally. So we said, okay, yes, let's bring them on table. Let's give them the role. Let's give them an agenda. Let's train them. Let's equip them. Let's empower them so that they are able to champion gender-based violence in the communities. And we thought the rest of the world is moving to this direction. And I think that is where we need to go. Because these are people who are in the communities. These are people who are involved in these types of toxic masculinity, and we said, okay, I think we need the boys to come on the table, we need the boys to be trained, we need the boys to engage, we need the boys to be part of the cause, and we need the boys to act. So that is why we decided to have the Boys for Change project.
Great, and it's interesting also to know that you're using football as a means to get to the boys in, and also coupling that with the SDG goals.
Yeah, so basically DANK is a sports for development organization. We use sports. We use sports to bring the children together, and it has worked so well. You know, so we engage the children through sports, and then through the sports is why we bring in the life skills, we bring in the education models, you know, we bring in the entrepreneurship models. So yeah, we use sports mainly to engage them, bring them together, and then through sports we are able to impact their lives and give them more information how best they can utilize themselves in the communities. And it has worked so well for us. So all our projects are rolled around sports.
Sports,
yes.
Okay. So Conan, as part of this project, what are you bringing on board?
What we're bringing on board is basically our support to DANK, technical, and then also financial support for that project to come into realization.
Okay.
Yes, and talking about the idea of positive masculinity, you see, we were socialized to believe that a man is a man because of his authority, especially over a woman.
True.
You see it. And the rationale behind engaging boys, you see, when we talk about gender inequality, we talk about gender-based violence. This is of any form of violence perpetrated against the opposite sex. And usually women and girls are at a disadvantage as they are disproportionately affected by this. And the perpetrators are mostly men and boys. So we believe that engaging them can change the dynamics and the narrative, but especially the boys. You see, there's what we call let me say entrenched patriarchal norms, where we believe power is in possession of men, that they have to exert it unduly over women and all that. So we believe at a tender age, children easily internalize values, ideals, perceptions. So engaging them at that level on positive masculinity will enable them imbibe, grasp all these concepts of gender equality, and will develop into responsible adults that will champion gender cause in their communities, and even responsible men at home. That is it, basically. That's a
very good one. And so let's get into the project proper. Is there a date to it? Are you doing any particular event, or it's a year-long thing you're working on?
Yes. So this the Boys for Change project is going to run for 1 year. It's going to run for 1 year in 3 of our locations. That is Jamestown, Nima, and Agege. And we hope that after the 1 year, we shall be able to roll out to 7 of our other locations. Yeah, so like Conan rightly says, the purpose of this project is to help boys and men, young men, develop positive masculinity and respect for the women and the girls, you know. So once we implement for the 1 year, we shall think about rolling it out to other locations. And we are sure it will be very successful.
Okay, great. So what's the response of the boys for the project like?
Well, we have interesting young people in our communities. Just to mention that most of the young people in our communities are volunteers from their communities, and that is the beauty of it. So the mention of having them involved in the Boys for Change project has brought some excitement in the boys, has brought some excitement in that they are looking out to engage, they are looking out to go out to the field, they are looking out to engage with the communities, they are looking out to engage with the media. Okay. So there's quite some excitement, and we hope that with this soft launch, with the main launch on the 1st of August, we shall be able to have more people coming on board and more exciting things happening. Okay. Yeah. All right,
Conan, as we wrap up, any final words you want to add?
Any final word is just to appreciate you having us here. Okay. And we are quite positive that the project is going to have the needed traction for its ultimate outcome to be achieved for the good of the women and girls in Ghana and for the good of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for coming in, and I really appreciate that you're going for boys and men at this time. You know, like it's a very good thing. So thank you very much for coming in. Stella Labi is head of programs for DANK Grassroots, working on this project, and also Conan Amir Gislaine is bilingual project officer for Canadian Crossroads International, and it's about Boys for Change project. And of course, on social media, you could get them, right, DANK?
Yes.
On all platforms?
Yes, you can get us on www.dankgrassroots.org. Okay. Or you can reach me out on 054-753-6413. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so that's it. We're taking a break.